G'day, Ethan here. Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch with Ethan, a travel show all about trying to encourage young people and their families to get off the couch and go see and explore the amazing places Australia has on offer. Now in this episode, I'm heading off to an icon of South Australia, one of my absolutely favourite places to visit, the Central Flinders Ranges. Well, behind me here is Wilpena Pound, or as it's known to the local Adnyamatna people, Ikara, which means meeting place. Now, it's not hard to see why. This incredible circular rock formation is about 11 kilometres long and 5 kilometres wide, and with peaks of over 1,000 metres above sea level, the red rock glowing in the setting sun is just extraordinary to look at. I mean, just look at it. It is truly a magical place. Well, at the very heart of the Central Flinders Ranges lies the Ikara, Flinders Ranges National Park, and that's my first stop on my Central Flinders Ranges trip. It's located about 400 kilometres north of Adelaide and is home to some of the most picturesque scenery, in my opinion, in the entire Flinders Ranges. There are some pretty well-known sites within the national park that you've got to see, but some also less well-known sites which I believe are just as equally impressive. So let's hit the road and get exploring.
The Flinders Ranges are some of the oldest land formations on Earth, forming about 800 million years ago. It's also one of the only places on Earth you can see 300 million years worth of life evolving right in one place. To experience the evolution of this incredible landscape, I believe there's one thing you have to do when you come visit the Flinders.
Now, all around the national park, there are several walks and hikes, ranging from easy to difficult. And I've got to say, no matter what hike you go on, when you're climbing up the hills, you are guaranteed an absolutely spectacular view. I mean, just have a look at it. Well, I'm sitting up here at the very top of Wilpena Pound, and I've got to say, these are some of the most spectacular views you will see in the entire Flinders Ranges, potentially in the entirety of South Australia. And one of the amazing things is up here, looking out over the plain, you can see a spectacular view of the rest of the Flinders Ranges. But if you look the other way, you see this absolutely spectacular interior of Wilpena Pound. Now, it's a bit of a hike to get up here, but once you get up here, the sheer scale and height of Wilpena Pound is absolutely breathtaking. And believe me, you don't really believe it until you see it with your own eyes. So it's definitely worth walking up here and checking it out. I mean, just have a look at that view. How awesome is this? Now, when you're visiting Ikara Flinders Ranges National Park, you have to take a drive through Brakina Gorge. I mean, just look at it. It's absolutely spectacular. This drive takes you through this wondrous gorge where you get to witness firsthand hundreds of millions of years of rock formation right before your eyes. And the wildlife, the plants, the water through the river, the animals is just spectacular. In fact, only just now we've seen an emu with 4 little chicks running behind it. I mean, just look at it. It's incredible. Well, my next destination is a pretty awesome place located about 20 kilometres from Wilpena. Now, it is a sheep station, although this property has plenty more activities to offer for young people and their families. I'm keen to check it out, so let's head off to Rawnsley Park. Now here at Rawnsley Park Station, there is accommodation to suit everybody, from unpowered sites all the way up to the luxurious eco villas. Now I'm staying at an unpowered site, and I've got to say, these are some of the best campsites that I have ever stayed at, and I'll tell you why. You have got 5 kilometres of track where you can camp wherever you like, so you really feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. But you've got all the services and amenities that you'd find at any typical caravan park, like toilets, showers, camp kitchen, and a laundry. But that is not the best part of staying at Rawnsley Park, because if you look this way, just check out this spectacular view that you get to wake up to every single morning when you're staying at Rawnsley Park. An amazing view over the southern side of none other than Wilpena Pound itself. And the best part is, it doesn't matter if you're staying at an unpowered site, a powered site, or even in accommodation. Everywhere along the station, you get this amazing view because of the awesome location Rawnsley Park is situated in. Now I've got to say, there's not too many places where you can camp or stay in an accommodation and wake up to a view this good every morning. I mean, just look at it. It is absolutely beautiful.
Rawnsley Park is a multi-faceted tourist destination. We've got a campground with bush camping and powered sites, and we've got 35 tourist cabins, and then we've got another 8 of the eco villas where we are now. Rawnsley Park's situated just on the southern side of Wilpena Pound, so that's Wilpena Pound that we're looking out onto now, and then on the eastern side is the Chase Range, and the western side is the Elder Range. So we've got, sort of 3 main ranges all around here, which means you've got a view in all directions. Yeah, I think if you're staying in the bush camping area, you've probably got the best view actually. But yeah, there's a nice view from pretty much everywhere on the property, and where we are at the villas here, it's yeah, you've really got your own little piece of the Flinders. I think it's the villas that have really sort of put us on the map a bit, because they're boutique accommodation. They got this fantastic view, and yeah, they really are. I think they match the Flinders. I think that, and that's what we tried to do, but I think it's worked. Yeah. Yeah, well, Rawnsley was purchased by my parents in the 1950s, and then it was always a small sheep property, so they saw the opportunity 54 years ago in 1968, and they built just the one tourist cabin, and then that worked, so they built another, and then developed the campground. So that sort of happened through the 70s, I suppose, and then over the next 20 years we added more tourist cabins. Then in 2000 a restaurant. Yeah, having a restaurant's really important, and we've got a couple of really good chefs there at the moment, and yeah, a good team. So if you can provide those good quality meals at a reasonable price, yeah, people really love it. Yeah.
So, do you have a favourite item on the menu?
Oh, it have to be lamb. Yeah, we use our own lamb in the restaurant, so we've got a lamb tasting platter that we offer, and that's pretty popular. And I think the lamb is good. Yeah. We get a lot of families visit Rawnsley, and often they're coming on a bit of a budget, but as I said, that bush camping area to me is virtually the pick of the property in some ways. You get that, you got the trees all around you, you can have a campfire, look out at at the Rawnsley Bluff or the Elder Range, and yeah, it gets them away from that screen and gets them off the couch.
Now, a must-do activity while you're staying here at Rawnsley Park Station is travel along one of the many scenic drives on the property and in the area. They range from two-wheel drive tracks, which any vehicle can handle, all the way up to some challenging four-wheel drive tracks. Now, we're travelling along the four-wheel drive track here at the station at Rawnsley Park, and I've got to say the scenery is absolutely spectacular. These beautiful blue skies are typical for this region during the winter months, and the views over Wilpena Pound, the Elder Range and the surrounding Flinders Ranges are just breathtaking. And you're almost guaranteed to see a kangaroo, an emu, or maybe even a yellow-footed rock wallaby. So let's hop in the car and hit the road. Now, as well as the camping, the accommodation, the four-wheel driving, the walking trails, the restaurant, the cycling, and all the awesome activities that Rawnsley Park has to offer, I've got to say, I think the best part is sitting up here on top of the hill and watching that beautiful sunset over Wilpena Pound and the surrounding Flinders Ranges. Those massive jagged rocks and that beautiful orange-pink glow all around the hills is absolutely beautiful. I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Young people and your families, what do you think is the better view? Your computer game screen or this?
Rawnsley Park has become an icon of the Flinders Ranges, and it's not hard to see why. It's a perfect place to base yourself. There are so many great activities right in Rawnsley Park's backyard, and just look how beautiful this place is. It really is a gem of the Central Flinders Ranges.
Well, while I'm staying out here in the Central Flinders Ranges, I'm keen to learn more about the local Indigenous culture, the Adnyamatnya people. So I'm off to Wadna, a pretty cool place just outside of Blimman, to have a chat to Christian. Let's go. Kristen, thank you for having us. Would you be able to tell me a little bit about what you've got on offer out here at Wadna?
Well, Wanda Yanangnura, good to have you here at Wadna. Here we offer authentic Aboriginal art and craft, like this wabma, the snake that I'm doing at the moment, made of mulga. We also have paintings, beautiful paintings. We also, Ethan, we also offer tours out to Aboriginal art sites, traditional sites, petroglyph sites and painting sites. Through our traditional country, the Adnyamatna country, Walpi Yerta. So Adnyamatna people are the people of the Flinders Ranges. Wadna is basically, we do cultural awareness training for school groups, uni, government agencies and the general public. So we take people out and visit Aboriginal art sites and teach people about the culture. That's the thing, you know, with the Flinders Ranges, we're 4 or 5 hours from Adelaide. You can come basically in your backyard, come and learn about a whole range of stuff. You can learn about the oldest living culture on the planet. You can learn about early pioneering history through the Flinders, the mining history. You can come here and visit a place called Idiakaranda, and that's where multicellular life formed on the planet. Aboriginal culture is Australian history, and everyone deserves to learn more about the traditional owners of this country. We lived, like I said, we lived here for thousands and thousands of years. We lived with the land, we lived on the land. We didn't live against it. We were part of the land. We were like the animals. And you find that when you educate people, people have a bit more of an understanding, and then they'll find that there's not much difference. You know, there's certain similarities between cultures all across the world. So I think when you teach people about your culture and and your history, it helps build bridges.
On, I guess, a little bit more about Wadna and so the tours that you offer. Could you tell us a little bit more about what we'll see and what you offer to people who want to visit?
When you visit Wadna, if you book a tour, I like to take you to art sites within the Flinders Ranges National Park, and also off park as well, Ethan, where we visit sites that are ancient petroglyph sites that can be anywhere up to 40 or 50,000 years old. So, and it depicts stories of animals and camps and the local history, because Adnyamathanha people, we didn't write. Our ancient people didn't write anything in such as journals and documentation. How we wrote our history was on the rocks. And then there's also art sites, painting sites as well. So, and not only that, when you come to Wadna or any other Indigenous business or any other tour, they'll usually tell you what the paintings mean, or what the art means. And also what I'd offer is we look at any plants of significance, we look at bush tucker, any medicine plants. So so there's a whole range of stuff. So when you come and do a tour with Wadna, you learn about creation stories, which Woodnew or white men know them as Dreamtime stories, but we call them creation stories here because it tells a story about how a certain country was created, or how minerals were created, our landforms were created. It's a wide range of stuff that we look at.
One thing I love about Wadna is that so many great stories are told through their art.
I do a lot of Wadna carvings. Wadna means boomerang in Adnyamathanha. I also do other carvings like this wabma, this snake. The serpent's very special in Adnyamathanha mythology and culture because it created a lot of landforms through here. It was the two serpents created the Flinders Ranges and Ikara, Wilpena Pounds. So the art as well, all Aboriginal art, all Indigenous art tells a story, and it's really good that we can pass on that knowledge through some of our art. And our art is, we support a lot of local artists from the area as well, and also extended family and artists from further afield as well. So we got a beautiful range of Indigenous art, Indigenous products from Indigenous owned companies. And even if it's not Indigenous owned, we try and focus on Australian made as well. I think it's very important too that people buy authentic, Australian made products, but not only Australian made products, but also buy authentic Aboriginal art and support regional businesses. When people do get off the couch and come to a regional area like the Flinders Ranges, they are supporting all the local businesses as they travel through. Whether they're fueling up, whether they're grabbing a coffee, whether they're grabbing a pasty, having a meal at the pub, coming on a cultural tour, going on a scenic flight. It's about, supporting your local business. So young people do need to get off the couch, families need to get off the couch, come and support regional businesses in your own backyard, support Australian businesses, and and support Indigenous businesses, and come and learn something about, your own backyard. And that's why you need to get off the couch.
Well, a pretty awesome thing a lot of remote stations are doing now is opening up their properties for you to stay at. And one of those properties is where I'm staying at now, Alpana Station, located about 60 kilometres north of Wilpena, just out of the little town of Blinman. Now, as well as camping and staying at Alpana Station, there's lots of pretty cool and exciting activities you can do on the property, as well as explore all of the beautiful things to do in the surrounding area, set amongst the beautiful backdrop of the Flinders Ranges. So, let's go explore and have a look around.
So Alpana Station is located 5 kilometres south of Blinman and about 60 kilometres north of Wilpena Pound in the heart of the Flinders Ranges, South Australia. And we have diversified into tourism 25 years ago. So we offer upgraded shearers' quarters and a little Nungaworts in a hut bush retreat, which is like a log cabin in the woods. And we've got 4 ensuite powered sites, and we've got 4 powered sites for self-contained caravans. And we've got bush camping in 2 different locations as well. So that's sort of everything that we offer accommodation-wise. Then we've also got 2 self-drive 4-wheel drive tracks, and we do guided four-wheel drive tag-along tours. Yeah, so coming to stay here and coming out on one of our four-wheel drive tours, it's a guided tour with the station owner. So you get to hear how the station works, the history of it and how it works in current day times in this semi-arid, fragile environment. And you just get a whole different perspective when you're on a station tour away from the main roads. Most of the tracks are two-wheel drive accessible most of the time, but a four-wheel drive really is the go here. So with a four-wheel drive, you get to access all the gorges and there's lots of really good walks. The Blinman Pools walk is off Parachilna Gorge Road, and because we've had a couple of good years of rainfall, the springs are really active. So that is the most beautiful walk to do. It is world-class geology here, and Flinders Ranges is the only place in the world where our particular 300 million years of geological history is exposed in one place to explore. It just happens to be the fossils in our rocks show the evolution of animal life on Earth. So there's the only place in the world you can do that. So Sunset Hill is a really special place to watch the sunset. We call it Sunset Hill 665 because you're 665 metres above sea level at the top there. And it's a wow factor view. You can see 80% of the Central Flinders Ranges. So highlights would be Wilpena Pound to the south and Patawurta Hill to the north. And you can even see out west, you can see right out through to Lake Torrens. Yeah, so Alpana Station, because we're 5 kilometres south of Blinman, we make a great central location to explore day trips. You've got the Flinders Ranges, Ikara Flinders Ranges National Park just down the road, and other gorgeous gorges, as we like to call them, in the area to explore as well. And because Blinman, the town, is just so close and handy, you can go to the hotel for meals, and there's a bakery there too. And the mine tour is another attraction. So, and Wadna, the Indigenous Arts and Crafts shop as well. So there's just, you could fill up easily a week exploring from right here. So we occasionally have school groups come and stay here, and the teenagers love getting out and about, out of the classroom of course, and doing hikes and four-wheel driving and just being away from the city and getting to know their teachers and their friends better, I guess. Teenagers and their families really need to get off the couch and come to the Flinders Ranges and just come out and experience the peace and quiet and the wide open spaces.
Now, while you're staying here at Alpana Station, you have to take the drive up Sunset Hill just before sunset to have a look at the absolutely spectacular 360-degree views as the sun sets beyond the horizon. You've got incredible views over Wilpena Pound, the surrounding Flinders Ranges, and you can see all the way out to the Salt Lake, Lake Torrens. I mean, just look at it. This is truly beautiful. This is what the Flinders is all about. Well, thank you for joining me for this episode of Off the Couch with Ethan. I hope that I've been able to inspire you to come out and visit the Central Flinders Ranges. There are some truly unique locations with some superb places to visit. I mean, just look at it. It is truly beautiful. And I've only just scratched the surface of all there is to do out here, so make sure you come and explore it yourself. Now be sure to head to my website, offthecouchwithethan.com.au, where you can catch up on all the latest episodes, and make sure you like me on Facebook and follow me on Instagram to keep up to date with my travels. Well, young people and your families, it's your turn now to get off the couch and come and visit the Central Flinders Ranges. And as always, I'll see you on my next trip. You've got to take a drive through Bracknia, I don't know. Let me start that again. To learn more about the Adnyamatnya people, and then I've focused too much on the word and then I lost it. Did I say it right though? I'm keen to learn more about the local Indigenous culture, the Adnyamatnya people. Did I say it right? Adnyamatnya. Okay. So, I'm off to check it all out and do something. Not quite sure what I was going to say. Hey, it sounded good though.